roughly 3.75 billion years ago, within an alternate dimension and universe. Under the awareness of both a maternal and paternal consciousness, a cosmic expansion was initiated, effectively setting the foundation for the creation of numerous universes, including the one we inhabit. Leading the exploration of this expansive domain were the luminous, androgynous, non-physical beings of the seventh density, known as the archangels, also referred to as the Elohim or the Builder race, identified as the Partal. These entities were charged with the task of fostering the emergence of life within this newly formed space-time continuum, meticulously crafting galaxies, planets, and universes over countless eons, following directives issued by the Source. Eventually, they constructed celestial, ethereal vessels for themselves and commenced the process of DNA molecule engineering. They faced the formidable challenge of maintaining a 7D unity Christ consciousness within a 3D physical form. After 9.25 billion years of cosmic evolution, the conditions were ripe for the appearance of third-density life forms. Under the leadership of the androgynous Pata'al figure named Yahweh, the Partal, or Elohim, were captivated by a lush jungle planet near the Orion galaxy, which offered an ideal nurturing environment for life. Their seminal achievement was the creation of a basic double-helix DNA structure, which laid the foundation for the evolution of plant and animal life on this new planet. Upon accomplishing this, the group of Pata'al opted to manifest in 5D, 4D, and 3D physical forms, taking on the appearance of their preferred planet-dwelling creature, the avian birds. This evolution led to their transformation into humanoid avians known as Carians, marking them as the inaugural 3D physical master race of all humanoid species across all universes and galaxies. In this era, the Carian beings developed a fascination with an amphibious reptile lizard that resided near the planet's swamps and jungles. Over eons, the Carians successfully evolved these reptiles into fully developed reptilian bipedal humanoids. Eventually, leaving behind their engineered reptilian species, many from the Carian master race ascended to higher densities and ventured to develop alternative universes, leaving behind thousands of reptilian engineered eggs. Across the vast multiverse, Lucifer, also known by the name Ahriman, broke free from the void of the parental consciousness. He emerged as an early explorer of every universe and dimension created by the Partal. Driven by impatience and a desire to independently craft his own 3D density life forms, Ahriman discovered the planet of the Carians and identified the humanoid reptilian race engineered by the Carian Partal. Fueled by curiosity, Ahriman took the unhatched eggs of the reptilian humanoids and seeded them on a distant planet within the Alpha Draconis system, marking the origin of the Master Chiakar, also known as the Master Reptilian Draco race. Lucifer, not inherently malevolent but motivated by self-interest, imposed a 3D matrix on the Alpha Draconian beings, where Ahriman served as their mentor and master. This 14 to 18 foot tall Master Reptilian race, characterized by their strength, agility, and predatory nature, possessed scaly muscular skin in shades ranging from dark green and black to red or blue. They had large eyes with slit pupils, sharp claws on their fingers and toes, and a long, slender tail that aided their balance. Ahriman was sufficiently pleased to refer to these new humanoid beings as his offspring. Ahriman instructed the initial Draconian reptilians to adopt his Ahrimanic philosophy, sharing cosmic secrets and emphasizing the importance of self-preservation and domination over the universe and all living beings. Thus, Ahriman, also known as Lucifer, established the principles of galactic dominion and conquest as the core tenets of the Draconian reptilian lifestyle, characterized by their self-serving nature and militaristic tendencies. The Draconians achieved technological advancement and mastered interstellar and interdimensional travel ahead of other races. By the time the humanoid existence initiated by Yahweh had mastered interstellar navigation, The Chiaka reptilians had already established a formidable empire, predominantly as predators lacking in love and unity consciousness. 4 billion years ago, as Ahriman orchestrated events in Alpha Draconis, Yahweh and the Patal departed from the avian planets of the Carians and settled on a gaseous planet in the Vega system. Despite originating in the 6th density, they transitioned to a 5th density planet to better align with their creative pursuits. In the 5th density realm, where much of creation and cosmic magic resides, guided by the creator of all and the source, the Patal aimed to further manifest life in the 3rd density, with the intention of healing the mother consciousness in the 7th and higher evolving dimension. This ambitious goal necessitated the implementation of a perfect 3D matrix dimension and cosmic overlay. Physical forms, originating from plasma, crafted the Patal to engage with the 3D realm, but maintaining this density presented challenges, prompting a rotation of tasks. Over time, Yahweh, along with the archangels, succeeded in achieving a 12-strand DNA configuration, which facilitated high-frequency consciousness within corporeal bodies in 3D. The innovative planetary laboratory situated in the Vega constellation was named Eden by them. The name Eden would resonate across the cosmos whenever a new species was being crafted or engineered. Approximately 427 million years ago, the Master Lyran race was created in Eden by the Patal. They had 52 chromosomes and 12-strand DNA molecules, with their flesh and blood bodies standing between 12 and 16 feet tall. The crucial resolution for crafting the perfect being, capable of transitioning from 3D to 5D, was that the being must be bipedal with 2 arms for manipulation. Cats and lion-like animals were among the first 3D mammals engineered in labs by the Patal. This led to the unfolding of a Master Lyran humanoid species evolution through contemplation and play, with some Patal integrating into the growing Lyran societies to aid in building their consciousness and knowledge, fostering a peaceful, nomadic warrior culture with an agricultural lifestyle. The early Lyrans were characterized by a slender, athletic physique and a striking aesthetic with skin tones varying from light to dark and hair colors ranging from blue to orange. Males typically had abundant hair growth, whereas females tended to have less. The feline subset of Lyrans had more cat-like facial features. Despite their tendency to maintain distance and avoid physical contact, the Lyrans possessed strength, akin to the majestic lions of Earth, with a preference to observe from a distance. They were distinguished by their cat and lion features, including vibrant eyes, setting them apart from previous Patal creations like the Carians and Reptilians. Many of the Elohim incarnating into the Lyran race found immense joy in the denser incarnated experience, living for thousands of years and becoming spiritual leaders of Lyran culture. This group evolved into what is known today as the Ascended Masters or Christ beings, capable of transitioning seamlessly between 3D fleshy bodies, light bodies, and plasma bodies at will. Through numerous incarnation cycles and genetic crossings with bipedal mammals similar to apes, the humanoid form, known as the Adamic human, evolved. With this genetic lineage, the royal line of Avion, or the House of Avion, becoming more common than purebred felines. The Lyrans, with their heightened consciousness, had the extraordinary ability to manipulate nature and their surroundings, shaping it to their will. They created vast gardens, practiced biofarming, and developed living architecture from the essence of forests and grasslands, reflecting their nomadic tribal existence. In their rich, sensual, and harmonious lives, the Lyrans also initiated the first practices of royal monarchies in some of their more technologically advanced societies, distinct from the nomadic ones. The Lyran civilization flourished for millions of years, with their empire extending from the Vega constellation to the systems of Vulpecula, Hercules, Draco, and Cygnus. Vega, the brightest star in Lyra, marked their celestial home planet. Named Avion, a name untranslatable into any human language. Avion was a paradise planet akin to present Earth, with mountains, lakes, streams, oceans, and a variety of vegetation and life forms. 387 million years ago, as the Lyran civilizations prospered, the draconian reptilians, having explored various galaxies for roughly 3 million years in search of vast resources and extending their dominion, stumbled upon the planet Orion in the Vega constellation. These Dracos, primarily operating as interstellar fleets reliant on their collection of planets for sustenance, had reached an apex of technological prowess without integrating higher consciousness. They created specialized versions of their race, with the Chiakar representing the Draco's royal lineage, envisioning a future galactic empire to expand their influence. The towering initial and dominant reptilian draconian race donned in heavy space-age technological armor, with elites sporting large scales on their heads, resembling antennas and wearing fish-like space helmets, were escorted by massive celestial ships of a T-shape, embellished with reddish lights. In the late, foggy night, these reptilians descended upon the gas planet of Orion. Upon settling, the reptilians established an odd technological celestial encampment. At this juncture, the nomadic tribes, indigenous Lyran peoples who considered this planet their home, began to whisper warnings. The wind carried tales of these reptile-like strangers now treading on their sacred soil, armed with strange weapons and wielding unseen technology. Among these tribes stood the proud Tal Lyran nation, the planet's guardians and keepers of ancient wisdom. A mixture of fear and curiosity stirred within the hearts of the Tal tribe. They convened in council, their faces adorned with symbols of protection, their voices lifted in prayer to the creator of all. A wise chief of the nation named Wovoka began to speak to the people. My children, the land under our feet and the sky above us bear witness to this new dawn. Let us not meet our guests with fear, for fear breeds misunderstanding, and misunderstanding leads to conflict. Let us extend the hand of friendship, for we are all children of the same Great Spirit. We shall share with them the bounty of our land, teach them the ways of our people, and learn from them what they have to offer. A young warrior, Cochise, then raised his voice, his gaze steady and full of resolve. Can we truly believe in the love and harmony promised by these invaders? Have we not ourselves sought expansion, guided by the Great Spirit? Their vast ships and formidable weapons hold the power to obliterate us. My kin, the very earth we stand upon and the sky under which we live bear witness to this violation. We cannot afford to welcome this invasion with naive trust, for misplaced faith leads us down a path to our own destruction. Let us instead cling to the wisdom passed down from our ancestors, the true stewards of these lands for generations. It is our duty to preserve our heritage, uphold the legacies of those who came before us, and protect the purity of our customs from being washed away by foreign tides. Your words are true and strong, Cochise. We must not give in to the depths of fear. Let us approach this encounter with open hearts and minds, for diversity is the garden in which wisdom flourishes. May we find strength in our traditions, courage in our hearts, and wisdom in our actions. Together, let us pave a path of peace and coexistence, so that our children and their children's children may live in a world where respect and understanding bridge the gap between cultures. The moment of their encounter was fraught with tension, as the reptilians, clad in their lush celestial suits and armed with their advanced weapons, stepped onto the nomadic lands of Lyra. It appeared they were surveying the planet and its inhabitants in search of something precious. The Lyrans observed from a distance, their feelings a complex mix of awe and apprehension. Through minor gestures and the exchange of technology, efforts to bridge the communication gap between these two distinct species began. As these exchanges grew more frequent, a bond and mutual understanding started to develop. The Lyrans introduced the reptilians to the bounties of their land, sharing their lifestyle and traditions on Lyra. In exchange, the reptilians offered gifts of metal tools and technological gadgets, marveling at the richness of the planet they had discovered. However, beneath this veneer of newfound harmony, dark undercurrents were brewing. To the predatory eyes of the Chiakar, the Lyrans appeared vulnerable. Initially hesitant, the Dracos carefully observed the Lyrans' seemingly magical abilities to read minds and manipulate their surroundings. History often demonstrates that when a more powerful force encounters one less understood but living in abundance, a pursuit of dominance is inevitable. Sauron, a commanding figure among the reptilian Siakar forces, crafted a strategic plan to seize vital planetary resources through coercion. His strategy involved sending a reptilian envoy to a revered Avalon temple, home to a highly coveted and potent Partal technology, deeply venerated by the Lyrans. With ruthless efficiency, this reptilian envoy massacred the Lyran priests and priestesses, leaving behind a swath of bloodshed and death. When the Lyran colonies became aware of this atrocity, the fragile peace shattered. Misunderstandings escalated into conflict, and the confrontation between these two species threatened to engulf the Vega system's Lyran world in flames. Following this, the reptilian Draco army initiated their invasion and conquest of the planet Avion. They decimated entire communities with a chilling efficiency, employing vast technological weaponry previously unseen by the Lyrans, and even consuming the corpses of their victims. The Tal Lyrans watched in horror as their loved ones were mercilessly slaughtered, their agonized cries echoing through the valleys like mournful laments. They witnessed the destruction of their homes, cities, and much of the ancient technology that had sustained life on their planet. The reptilian soldiers discovered a perverse pleasure not only in the act of killing Lyran beings, but also in the taste of the feline, Lyran beings specifically, deeming them soft and easy prey. However, the most sinister aspect of their conquest was the realization by the Dracos that the emotions of Lyrans, or any being they consumed, particularly the emotion of terror, induced an intense euphoria. The feline Lyrans were subjected to torture and consumption, with the Dracos feasting not only on their flesh, but also on the horrific psychic energy of their emotional vibrations, a phenomenon known as loosh. This grim discovery of dark energy, coupled with the intrusion of Archons, exacerbated the Draconians' most malevolent tendencies, creating a consciousness grid. This marked the beginning of the original Serpent in the Garden narrative, introducing concepts of murder, torture, war, and polarized duality consciousness into the humanoid psyche. The Dracos instilled fear into the etheric DNA, setting the stage for an enduring struggle for all future physical densities in the universe. Meanwhile, peaceful Draconians who opposed their empire's aggression faced similar exclusion or violence due to their reptilian features, cementing a divide and casting a long shadow of prejudice across the galaxies. In the initial phase of the Lyran invasion, the civilian population was subjected to enslavement, genocide, and the looming threat of complete obliteration as the Draconians methodically took over Vega and its adjacent celestial bodies. The Lyran nobility found no exemption from this fate, as they too were apprehended by the Draconians, who in turn solidified their dominion. During this period of relentless destruction, mass killings, and the outbreak of wars and conflicts within Vega, a small contingent of 7 insurgent reptilians stood in defiance. Opposing the Chiakar's campaign of extermination directed at the Lyrans in Vega, they facilitated the escape of a select group of Lyran leaders towards the vicinities of Sirius A and also near B within the Orion sector. Moreover, a number of Lyran refugees, who were exceedingly lucky, managed to evacuate their stellar system aboard slow-moving interplanetary vessels. These refugees assembled into a convoy that evolved capabilities in agriculture, mining, and defense. Breaking free from the 3D matrix, they transitioned into the normal 5th density realms, where the vibrational frequencies were conducive to the healing of their traumas. It was here that the initial revolt against the Draco Empire was initiated. This assembly would later be recognized as the Galactic Federation of Worlds. It represented a coalition of leaders from various planets unified against the reptilian Chiakar Empire. From this critical point, the majority of the refugees opted to reincarnate as beings from numerous races such as the Arcturians, Andromedans, and Pleiadians within the Pleiades and across other galaxies, ascending to higher dimensions well beyond the reach of the draconian invaders.